Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Learning Sound and Synthesis Spotlight Series interview. I'm here today with my student Bartosz, and we're going to be talking all about the key factors that helped Bartosz go from feeling kind of like not like a real musician to realizing that you are absolutely an incredible musician, making beautiful music, making, I think, soundtracks for video games, you told me,
Yeah.
and more that we're going to get into. So I'm really excited to get into this conversation because I know that this is something that a lot of people feel, this like fear of, I'm not a real musician, I'm not a real composer. So I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited to share your music and just get into it. So to start us off, welcome.
Uh,
Can you give us a little intro to who you are and what kind of music you like to make?
yes. Um, uh, by day, I'm a software engineer, and on the evenings and weekends, I love composing music. This is mostly orchestral, but based on virtual instruments because I really can't play anything that well. And recently, I started fiddling with electronic music, synthetic music. I enrolled into the LSS course. I started incorporating the elements of the electronic music into my otherwise classical compositions, and my probably my biggest idol that is sort of a north star for me for what would I will probably never achieve, let's be honest, but I would like to, is Hania Rani, who is a Polish composer and pianist. She also blends the classical and electronic music.
I love that. I also just want to remark right off the front that you're doing, it's just amazing to hear you say, like, yes, I'm a composer. I do this, I do that. So, can you take us
Yeah.
back? Also, hello to everyone tuning in live. If you're here live with us, drop a comment, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's always great to see you here. And also, I'm curious from people tuning in live, does anyone else resonate with that feeling of like, oh, I'm not yet a real composer? Has anyone ever felt that maybe in the past or now? I know I definitely have. Way like back in the day, I was convinced I wasn't a real composer. And so even though I was composing music all the time, but somehow I was just scared to take on that identity. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like maybe you mentioned when we were talking before that you didn't feel maybe like legitimate enough or valid enough as a musician. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So my feeling of being illegitimate is mostly concentrated around the fact that I don't really have any musical education. I have never been to like quite honestly, I have never held an instrument in my hand uh, until 2 years ago. I started learning guitar, and only because my daughter started learning guitar, so she dragged me into it a little bit. I started learning guitar. Guitar doesn't really fit those fingers, but the piano is better, is much better. I'm making some progress. It's still not easy to coordinate two hands, and this gives me very very big imposter syndrome in this area. Uh, I have to quite honestly say that this is a process, uh, and I don't think it's a process that ever ends. Like, uh, and I have a very valid reason to say so. I have, as I said in my other life, I have 20 years of experience as a software engineer. Every now and then, I feel imposter syndrome, and this is something that just gets to you and hits you with its claws, and you really have to know how to fight it. And it's a little bit different in the world of software engineering, and much different in the creative world. Like for me, the unlocking the thing that unlocked me like seriously unlocked me was the community support.
Hmm.
That's something that um, I don't think I would be able to grow if I didn't have people all around me that supported me.
Yeah.
That's that's probably the thing that actually tanked my sorry, that sunk my writing career, because I didn't have the community of
Right.
people who supported me. This was a completely solitary act,
Right.
and it didn't work well.
Right. This makes so much sense. I mean, it's so first of all, kudos to you for feeling that imposter syndrome, which so many people feel. A lot of people in the chat are like, "Yep, me too," and doing it anyway, saying, "You know what? I'm going to learn this thing anyway. I'm going to take this class anyway. I'm going to pick up this instrument anyway." That's something that a lot of people, unfortunately, don't do. And anyone who's watching this, if you have something you want to do, but you're like, "Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not legitimate enough." Just give it a try. Just give it a try.
Yeah,
Yes, you'll probably be bad at it for a while at first, just
you
like a little
can
kid learning to walk.
you can still learn the basics when you're 40, and that's awesome.
Yes. Oh, that is so, and 80. You still can. There's no age limit to learning something. That's
Yeah,
very important. But the second thing you said is about this community aspect. This is part of the reason why I love this social media community and I love the course community, is that we can all support each other. I completely agree with you. When you're feeling imposter syndrome and you're all alone in your studio, it's a lot easier for those thoughts to take over. But when you're feeling that way and you're surrounded by other people who are being creative, it can help to kind of pull you along a little bit,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I actually have a very important example from, like, just a couple of weeks or maybe days ago. I lost track of time. So there was this moment when I was releasing my my last release. Um, I came into that panic mode. I have this tendency to like descend into a panic mode, because the next day after I put it on SoundCloud, I listened to it, and I'm like, boy, I hate this mix.
This is so
It's
relatable.
completely wrong. It sounds terrible. Like, why did I do it? And I specifically remember, because there were many people on that thread, but I specifically remember Lily Schwartz giving me, like, a virtual slap by saying, "Hold your horses and breathe, and just take your time." Uh, Give yourself a moment, like, put it aside, let it rest, let it live its own life, and then you'll come back to it, and maybe you're going to do something with it or not.
Yeah,
um,
I love
uh,
that.
because, like, if you descend too much into this vicious loop of perfecting something that might be not perfect, but you don't know why it's not perfect, then
Right.
it's going to kill you, and kill your creativity. Um,
And like perfection, what is that anyway? Right.
oh yeah,
And what you are doing, our internet connection's a little fuzzy, so hopefully I'm still coming through. But what you're doing by being yourself in all of your imperfect ways, that is what the world needs. That is what's beautiful. We don't need
yeah,
perfection. So, well, thanks. Shout out to Lily if you're here and listening to that. Good work. Thanks for bringing Bartosz back from the depths of imposter syndrome. This is just such a dream for me. Like when I created this course and thought about the community, I was dreaming. I was like, I want this community to be the kind of place where everyone builds each other up and supports each other, so that you're coming in and yes, of course you're getting a lot from the course, from the materials, but you're also getting and giving to each other. And it's just this like beautiful feedback loop. And I'm so happy to hear this story. And I'm sure if you haven't, I'm sure you've already done this for other people, but you being there and having those feelings and working through them, Bartosz, that helps other students as well see what's possible for them. Does that make sense? So you're going to be giving
yeah.
courage to other people, even if you don't realize you're doing it. Yeah, I see Chris in the chat, who's also part of LSS, says, let it rest. That's great advice. Our mindset also dictates what we hear. It's a very, very good point. You can focus on all of the mistakes and imperfections, or you can focus on the things you love and the parts of you that grew during that process.
Love the process, definitely.
Exactly. I love that so much. Okay, so I want to play a little bit of your music. I think this is a good moment. So what I'm going to do, I just need a second here to get the screen share set up. I'm going to share just a little snippet of some of your music that you made. Do you want to say anything about it before we take a listen?
Yes, so this is the if I know what we're talking about, this is going to be the very single that Lily Schwartz told me about, like Hold Your Horses. This is something that I started making a couple of months ago in a moment of frustration. Actually, it was a moment of frustration that I took from not being able to pick up my piano skills as fast as I would like to. But there was, like, also, like, other plenty of emotions, anger and whatnot, and I just decided to grab this piano and just throw away all of the tutorials, lessons, and anything, and just bang on it.
I
And
love
this
that.
thing suddenly appeared, and it kept me occupied for a couple of months when I was, like, laying track after track. And yeah, here's the result.
And the synthesizers too, you added in as well, right?
Yes, yes. The synthesizers were obviously made from scratch using VCV rack, and the fun thing about it is that I right now what I'm doing is, like, I'm following this principle of active listening and making stuff as I go, like,
Mhm.
not trying to design everything up front, but rather just going experimenting and seeing what matches. So if you actually looked at this setup, at the module setup under the hood, it's a monstrosity. Like, half of the modules don't do anything because I did something that I didn't like it and just pull it aside, put it aside.
I
Uh,
love that. But you
yeah,
kept going and you
but
used
it
what
kept going.
was
Yeah,
working. That's so good. It's such a good example of, resisting the perfection. Like it's a mess. Sure. Half the things aren't doing what you want them to do. Sure. But you used what you had, you used what was working, and you made something really beautiful from it. And that's just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. We're only going to listen to a short excerpt of this just for the sake of time today, but I would strongly recommend and encourage everyone to go follow Bartosz on SoundCloud and listen to the whole track. Okay. Hopefully this will work and we'll hear sound in just a second here coming through. Okay, turning this down is very difficult to do, but that was coming through, right? We were hearing
that
that.
was coming through. I'm not sure if it got actually caught properly in the recording because it sounded a little bit garbled on my in my earphones. But we'll
Oh, well,
see.
it sounds beautiful on my end. Here, what I'll do is I'm going to stop sharing this tab here. We'll go back to just the two of us, and I will post this link. It's going to be a long one, but I'll post it in the comments, and hopefully that will go through for people. And just go check that out. It's so beautiful. It is, I mean, for someone who's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know. I feel this is amazing, Bartosz. It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So I experiment a lot. There are just like two singles that I actually publish because I consider these complete work. Apart from the entire game soundtrack that I wrote, but the game still is not out there, so I don't publish it.
That's amazing. But so, I just want to say, thank you for not listening to that voice of imposter syndrome and for just jumping in and doing it, because this is beautiful. Yeah, people are saying very cool evolution into the synthetic sounds. Yes, I agree. I love how you were merging the piano with the synth sounds. I think it's just really beautiful, and it sounds like, it's unique. It's unique to you, and I'm just excited to hear what you keep doing with it in the future.
Great. I'm glad that you're reading this out because I don't see it on my screen.
Yes, I know. Well, I've got windows everywhere with chat coming through. um, someone's asking if you're willing to take a question from the audience. Someone's just
Sure.
asking around how many hours it took for you to go from scratch to releasing that piece that we just listened to.
I don't know. So there are three answers to this question. I don't know. The second one is it took embarrassingly long. The third answer is that we could probably estimate it because it took about 3 months of weekend work, basically. So
Yeah.
that took a long time. But you have to keep in mind that me myself, I'm really kind of a person that digs into a problem, loves to bury myself inside it for a long, long, long time, and then come out of my basement and here it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next thing I'm doing, I'm trying to keep myself a promise to keep it simple and
Love that.
short for the change, and
Sure.
actually deliver something in less than a month,
I
maybe.
mean, honestly, it's not a race, but I also think that that's great,
I need that change. I need that change, really.
Sure. So that's a great next challenge for you, for
Yeah,
sure. I love that. So I'm curious. I want to just touch before we wrap up today. We've talked a lot about sort of how you dove into the piano and you just said, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to play. I'm curious. Can you tell us a little bit about on the synthesis side of things? Maybe going through my class or working through the materials, what were some things that were really helpful for you in having the modular synth sound design things start to click?
um, actually, this is probably not something that you would hear a lot, but I think that the very introductory material about the history of electronic music, that was a kind of an eye opener for me because for me, electronic music started with maybe Kraftwerk and Depeche Mode, right?
Yeah.
There was the whole there was the whole history that I didn't understand, and understanding it's like helped me understand like where I am in all of the long history of synthetic sounds.
Right.
And from the more technical things, I like recently I was working with the binaural delays, right? And this is a very, very cool effect. I'm definitely going to use it.
Yep, that sounds like module 7. We do by
Hmm. Yes, yes, something like that. Hmm.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that the history made an impact on you. That's why it's there.
Yeah,
It's we start with a history because well, for one, it's just fascinating to know where this all comes from. But the second thing is what you said is that most people, a lot of people, just don't know how deep the history actually is. And for me, when I learned about the history of electronic music, it felt like a big permission slip to be more experimental than I
yeah,
thought was okay. Like if you're just looking at like what people are doing today, which is amazing, it's you can get a little stuck in the rules, like oh, all the
exactly.
music sound like. But when you go back in time, the early pioneers of electronic music, they were wild. They were doing just pure experimentation, and I think that's so inspiring.
And the tenacity of these people.
I know, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, they were finding universes of sound in simple tone generators or in, the sound of clinking a ceramic cup and then repitching it, reversing it, layering it. Like they were just so resourceful because they didn't have a lot of tools. And I think that when we bring that mentality of scrappiness, and I love you said the word tenacity, I think, or something like that. It's just so good. If we bring that into the way we approach modern Eurorack systems and modular synths, we can tap into so much more creativity. So I'm so glad that that resonated with you. Um, let's do one more or two more questions from the audience. If anyone has anything Bartosz. There's one here. Someone, Adrian on Facebook, is asking what your favorite synthesizer is. Do you have a
Oh,
favorite? Oh,
that's. I'm gonna actually surprise you. I don't own a synthesizer just yet.
I love to
I
hear it. I love it.
my my practice so far has been purely software based
Great.
because I just didn't want to invest too much into. I didn't want this to be a like um, irresponsible spending of money. I first need to understand, and then like only now I'm slowly entering the area when I suddenly feel comfortable about
I love it.
thinking how my setup should actually look like.
I love
So
that.
no, I don't have any favorite
So VCV
synthesizer.
rack.
VCV rack and my trusty MIDI keyboard that lies somewhere there.
You know what? That's beautiful. That is such a good answer. And I think it's just so important for everyone to be reminded that you can do all of this. You can get started with all of this for free. There are so many amazing free plugins, free tools, free softwares. Shout out to VCV Rack. I that's what I use in my classes to teach, because it's accessible for everyone. So yeah, and hook it up with a good MIDI keyboard, because I know a lot of you say like, oh, I don't want to be on my computer, I don't want to use my mouse to make music, and I get that, but a good MIDI keyboard or controller with knobs, it can just turn everything into a lively instrument. So I really, yeah, I love that.
My
um,
recommendation, this is a great all-in-one device when you need to have knobs, but for actual experimentation with keys,
mhm.
get something bigger with
Yeah.
bigger keys and keep it simple. Like nothing but keys.
Cool. Great recommendation. All right, that's a good segue. I'm going to just quickly float this link up on the screen, soundandsynthesis.com/waitlist. We are we are a month, just a little under a month away from the spring 2025 cohort opening up for learning sound and synthesis. I only run my class 1 or 2 times a year. So if you're curious, if this feels like the time for you to jump into the world of synthesis, jump into electronic music, take your music making practice to the next level, this is the link to go to, soundandsynthesis.com/waitlist. You can join the waitlist. That's going to put you in the front of the line to be notified when enrollment opens. And everyone who signs up for LSS from the waitlist gets a special bonus class all about live performance with modular synths. So there's a lot in there that's very, very exciting. It's just, I don't know how much I can say, but it's just a special, or how much more I can say about how special the community is. But Bartosz, people like you really make it super special. So thank you for being part of it. Thank you to everyone who's watching here, who's in the LSS community. I see you and I appreciate your presence. I'm just so excited for everything that's to come. Speaking of everything that's to come, go follow Bartosz, follow on SoundCloud, all of the other places, and please keep us posted when you have new music out, okay?
I will.
You
I will
will?
definitely.
And you will not take it down the next day after you post
No.
it? Okay, good. That ship has sailed. I love that. Is there anything I always love to pass back to the guest for the wrap up? Is there anything that you want to say? Any final words before we finish for today?
Um, just a big thank you for hosting this, and thank you for having me, giving this opportunity to say a couple of words. It's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to everyone who joined. I think the theme of today that I wanted to leave you with is keep going, believe in yourself. If you feel like you're not legitimate enough or real enough of a composer or whatever story you're telling yourself about your abilities, it's just a story. You can change it. You can tell yourself any story you want. So why don't you try the story that is, I get better every time I practice my instrument. Every time I make music, I get closer to, something I love. I'm constantly learning and growing, something like that, because I know this community. I talk to all of you in DMs. I talk to all of you all the time. You're amazing. There is so much talent in this community. So please keep going and let's just continue to support each other and it'll be awesome. Okay. I think that's it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you,
Thank
Bartosz.
you.
See you next time. Bye for now, everyone. Take care.